All right, good morning and welcome to session number 5. Today we'll be talking about mindset. All right, so mindset matters. It's the most powerful tool that we have to facilitate that change, to change our perception, to change our lifestyle, to change our habits, how we ride life's roller coasters, as it were, and how we just deal with life in general and our perception of everything. All right, so it's a big session. With the previous 4 sessions of 2 weeks, we spoke about all the kind of technical sides of things. We spoke about nutrition 101, we spoke about macros, we spoke about deficits, we spoke about calories and high-low days and all these wonderful things. Then we went on to about fat loss myths and fat loss rebound to make sure that you have all the information and you feel really empowered with clarity to make sure that we don't, go back down that path again, all right, that path of diet culture and all the fad diets, etc., that we stay clear of that. And not only are you empowered by that and you now learn or discover it, but you can also share that obviously with your gym members, your participants, your colleagues, etc., okay? So it's just spreading that positive and change your mindset more than anything else, change your approach. So that's the kind of technical side of things. Today we talk about more mindset. So it's the emotional side of things more than anything, okay? And for me, coaching now, specifically nutrition coaching for 6-7 years and exclusively for instructors, it is the big difference, all right? It's the massive key because most of us know what we need to do. We know that, that a big takeaway is not going to be as good as kind of a home cooked meal, perhaps. We know that consistency is the key. All these things we just know. We just need that, sometimes that change of perception. It's a new set of kind of glasses on, something to see things a bit clearer and empower yourself with that emotive drive that you start talking in a way about what you deserve. And what your body deserves, deserves to be nourished, it deserves to be fueled and recovered and all these wonderful things. You look at yourself as more of an investment than trying to punish your body because you had a cookie and a coffee at Costa or something like that, okay? So it's that change of habit, lifestyle, perception that really underlines that lasting change, okay? Because anybody can go on a diet for a week or 2. It's about really changing the things kind of long term, all right? So that's what today is pretty much all about. So it's week 3. It's a lovely, sunny, cool, crisp day up in Scotland. I hope you are having a wonderful day wherever you are, and hopefully the first 2 weeks have gone really well. Probably a bit of a mistake on my part to leave the email yesterday a bit late in the day for everybody to kind of get back to us, but I did get a few email responses, so thank you much for that. A couple of us are making really great leaps and progress with weight, but the majority of people are actually coming back through and saying, I've not weighed myself yet, or I'm not too bothered about the scales, but massive changes in a bit of food planning, a bit of prep, weights going up in grit, weights going up in body pump, just feeling more energetic come the late Thursday, late Friday night classes, just feeling, really good, really energetic, not having those kind of energy crashes really early on in the warm-up or in track 1 or 2. So that is a really kind of powerful and positive kind of feedback. So I'm really delighted to kind of hear that come across. As I said, really in the early doors, first few sessions, obviously we do want to try and lose a bit of weight if that is your goal, but that is not the sole purpose. If that was the sole purpose, I just would have said, hey, 1,000 calories for the next 3 weeks, good luck and go for it, okay? It's not about that. It's about feeling really authentic as a fitness role model, being really empowered, changing your body shape. So we've seen with Leslie and Nicole that it's not just about the weight, it's about, that body shape, the, composition between fat and muscle and just feeling really that energy, that passion to go into class and teach your best classes week after week, day after day. All right. So thank you for the kind of feedback. We'll look at 1 or 2 very quick comments people can left by, but when you do get to that email, when you kind of catch up, because I know a few of us are sort of snowed under with work, getting back to work, COVID's still a bit of a pain in the ass, and just with the launch weeks and stuff like that. So when you kind of get to run those sessions, please let us know how you've been kind of getting on, and if there's anything else that I can obviously help you with as well. All right. So week 3, this is a big week as things go on, and we normally do. When you start teaching a very new release, first time, it's a bit ahead and miss. Second time, it gets a bit better. By the time you start reading your 3rd, 4th, 5th class, you start to feel your groove. You start to pick up the music really well. All that core is just sitting there automatically. So we're now looking for those habits that we created in the habits 1, 2, 3, 4 should now ideally, hopefully, be a bit subconscious. They're starting to embed into our lifestyle. We're starting to regularly think about things that we're grateful for. We're starting to regularly empower ourselves and give ourselves a pat on the back for something that we did that day, because we are really good, positive people, and we don't need to keep, talking down about ourselves or being negative, and using that comparison life to Facebook's highlight reel and all that kind of carry on. So, just like teaching classes, we're getting better and better and better. And week 3 is the one where ideally, we should be flying high. Yeah, we should be able to now look at another week's worth of habit trackers. So we've looked to have improved upon week's 1 score. So whatever that was, 30 out of 63, and then moving on to maybe 35. And then this week we're looking at 40. So whatever it is, we're looking for those continual slow progressions, because it's consistency and not perfection that we are after. Yeah. So with that in mind, have a great week. Let us know how it goes, and just keep nailing those habits, those key factors: high protein, fruit, veg, sleep, steps, etc., etc. Okay, and you will get where you want to be in terms of body weight to body fat loss, but also way more energy as well, because you're now eating in a niche approach. You're now eating like a fitness professional, fitness coach, and the differences, no doubt, will be really remarkable. Okay, cool. Let's dive in. Fingers crossed we keep this to 30 minutes. Who knows, right? I'm not trying to keep it too long, because I am conscious of the time to say we're going to do 30-minute sessions, and then I'm ranting on for 40-45 minutes, all right? So I know time is precious, so I'll do my best with this one. Right, let's jump straight in. So 2 weeks in, habit score, how can you improve this week? That's it. I'll leave it as that. There's not much more to talk about that, okay? Your fitness, your journey, your life, you've got it right in front of you. The better you nail that, the better things will be. Simple as that, all right? Simple as that. A few success stories from people that have checked in. Tasha's lost 2 kilograms in the 2 weeks that we started. So she's essentially hit up that she's hitting more protein more consistently. Still got a bit of room improvement for there, but definitely getting more protein in is making massive help. And just having a few more home cooked meals, planning a little bit better, making a world of difference. Okay, so when you apply these things, these simple, easy apply things, we get instant results. Nikki's heading in the right direction, more energy and better meal planning as well. So it's all these things that are going to, push you and obviously in the right direction, but feel better, look better, teach better, etc., etc. Okay. Plus, you're going to have the added benefit of not having that diet culture mentality about food stress, about food anxiety, about thinking, is this good or is this bad, right? You're going to understand that it's all about food value. And as long as you have the majority of your meals of moderate to high, quality food, you're absolutely fine. You have that flexibility, you have that autonomy, you have that, it's like treating yourself as an adult almost, okay? And winding back the years before we got really paranoid and really stressed about labeling foods as good, bad, and superfood or demon food or all that kind of stuff. So really great work from Tasha and Nikki, and for all the other, for everybody else who's obviously kind of replied in to say some of the things about planning, energy, weights up and grit, weights up and pump, all this wonderful stuff as well. So fantastic work. So obviously, as you'll now be joining hundreds of other fitness professionals like you to join niche coaching, okay? So our coaching approach, as you know, is group X nutrition. It's not diet culture. It's very different, and it's specific to fitness instructors, fitness professionals, fitness coaches, and PTs as well, all right? So like Sarah, Nicole, Ashley, and Michaela up there, or cheesing, making wonderful progress in the body shape and body composition. A few kind of comments here. I'm not going to read through all of them here, but this is what you sort of step into when you take that step, when you take the plunge and apply a couple of the rather boring common sense things, but the difference is not just hearing them, but actually applying them and understanding them, and then putting that value on yourself that, you are not general demographic. You deserve more, and your body deserves more. If you're out there teaching, doing a lot of high intensity classes, a fitness role model, this is your income, this is your livelihood. You need to value yourself in a lot higher space than, fad diets and detoxes and all that kind of nonsense. Okay. So everything there is, it's wonderful for me to see all the time about the weight loss, but also just about looking better in your clothes, having to buy new clothes, looking better in the kind of mirror, confidence going up, self-worth, self-value going up and up and up and up. All right. Again, in terms of real pure body comp changes, less fat, more confident, more comfortable. Yeah. Feeling strong to do more in classes. That's what everybody kind of wants to do. Taking pictures, noticing a lot of changes. Waist looks small and bums looks more toned. Okay. That's a win-win if I ever heard it. All right. And one of the biggest ones, I just want to share this one, just talk a little bit more about this one. This was a private client who worked with me for 6 months last year, the first part of last year. And, just coming from doing a lot of kind of fitness stuff, starting a new kind of business in the fitness kind of world, single mom, kind of trying to balance everything, and trying to find her feet again, trying to get back into the shape that she felt comfortable with, you know, personal stuff aside as well, you know, trying to just be in a better place, remove bad people from kind of life, and just really build up her kind of confidence and everything else. And there was a lot of conversations we kind of had, because that's what we do in private coaching with our check-ins and the weekly calls. And so a bit of kind of life coaching really, but just a lot of kind of coaching, riding the waves, riding the emotions, staying focused with a couple of key things every week, so she didn't feel overwhelmed by me saying, right, these are the 5 or 6, 7 things you need to focus on for the next 4 weeks. You know, it's simple, layered progression. This month we're focusing on these 2 things. Next month is now this thing or that 2 thing, or whatever it may be. So the end result was, you know, so much more confidence, leaving kind of jobs, taking the big plunge, stepping her own, you know, becoming really strong, really independent, not relying on anybody, not living through anybody else's, you know, validity, anything like that, and being really empowered and going for job interviews that she would never have thought that she would sort of transfer. But when you have to go out and buy a new wardrobe because you're just looking that great and your body shape has changed, gives you a bit of confidence, you know, it's a new pair of shoes, new kind of work suit, new kind of dress, etc., and smashing interviews. And from then onwards, it's only gone up and up and up and up and up. Okay, so you know, it's that's not just about macros or calories. That's about self-worth. That's about confidence. That's about one-to-one coaching. That's all about, you know, changing the perception of what you deserve, building up confidence, building up all that kind of stuff. That really makes a huge difference, because I'm sure you know the most charismatic people, and the people that really generally want to kind of live like, are the ones that walk into a room smiling, confident, you know, knowing what they're doing that day, knowing, you know, what they're going to be teaching, how they're going to teach, they're going to interact, just feeling in such a safe, secure, strong place. Okay, and that transformation doesn't happen through diets, doesn't happen through restriction, doesn't happen through self-sabotage. It happens through positive conversations and building up our perception as to how to handle life stresses, because we're always going to have things coming at us left, right, and center. That's the way life is. It's how we manage that, deal with that, and give our kind of perception onto ourselves that really kind of manage it. So, you know, really delighted, obviously, with that kind of comment, because that was more than just giving up macros and calories. Okay, so on that note, within this kind of session, I am going to be talking about offering a single space in the private coaching space within Group X Nutrition. So obviously, our 21-day fat loss Kickstarter is generally in a kind of a group coaching kind of zone, and I will be actively looking for or opening up some more spaces to take on another maybe 2 to 3, depending on how things go, 2 or 3 spaces in February. So that's about 2 weeks away. However, I do want to open up one space to everybody within the Fat Loss Kickstarter in January to come on board and start working with me inside the one-to-one space. So if you're kind of going well and you're looking for 1, maybe a bit more accountability, 2, somebody to do your macros for you, or 3, if you're thinking, you know what, sounds like, you know, quite like the way that sort of Tim talks, or whatever it may be, or he puts things that kind of cross or whatever else, you know, I want him in my kind of corner for the next couple of months to make sure that I, you know, feel the best, get where I want to be, achieve all my kind of goals, and, you know, have everything that I kind of need to be like everybody else has done that has worked in the private one-to-one space. All right. So currently there's 2 options. Cool. Now to the real juicy stuff, mindset and why the big deal. Okay. So really, you know, I try to emphasize a lot of stuff about the fat loss myths and about the kind of pseudo bullshit out there about, you know, fat rebound and everything really quite well. But this probably is the big thing. Okay, this is what's going to make shit last. This is what's going to help really change your lifestyle moving kind of forward. Everything comes from your mindset, because you are having hundreds of conversations in your head. Okay, now in the last 20 minutes, you've said things to yourself. Okay. Absolutely. You said, oh, that's a nice t-shirt, or you thought, oh, you know, yep, I agree with that. This, I agree with that, or whatever. Or Tim's head is really, really shiny and really bald, blah, 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 whatever. You could be having hundreds of conversations in your head, okay, from now through the rest of the day. So that's a powerful tool that can be very negative, but also can start to actually aid and help you see things a bit kind of clearer as well. So do not underestimate that internal conversation that you are having thousands of times a day. All right, your perception of reality. So generally, it's one of those ones where if you use a lot of closed and damning kind of language, if you believe something is something, then that's what you'll believe. Yeah, and nobody else can really kind of change that. So you can be very careful about using closed, damning language, as opposed to perhaps a bit more of a kind of growth mindset and using, you know, at the moment or currently, or it seems, or it appears, or what I'm struggling with right now is those kind of words, as opposed to I can never, I will never, you know, that won't work, you know, all that kind of stuff. Because by the time you said that, you know what, you're absolutely right, it won't work because you've got the wrong attitude. You've closed-minded, you've shut it off before you even started, okay, before you even tried, and you've been big Billy balls, you've been really brave to go, you know what, I might not get it right the first time, but I'm going to ask myself some questions at the end of the week or the end of the 3 weeks, whatever, or the end of whatever adventure that you've tried, and go, right, okay, so self-reflection. I'm going to be brave enough and ask that, what worked, what didn't work? Come back to the table, this worked, that didn't work. Okay, cool. So week 2 or month 2 or year 2, I'm going to now take that on board and I'm going to add this kind of stuff. Okay, so the perception and reality is really important in terms of what you kind of appear to sort of like believe in. Belief system again. So belief system, with this one, a lot of it curtails around your environment and around your personality as well. Okay, and I did a bit of, I've done a few workshops with a chap that I follow, a guy called Dr. Jordan Pedersen, and on personality, you know, and it's really helped me. It's very kind of side notes here, helped me very much be less judgmental, be a lot more open-minded, and appreciate everybody's points of view, because what you see is an accumulation of what you've seen and what you've experienced over your 30, 35, 40 years, okay? So your perception of basically, say, low-fat milk is going to be very different to mine, okay? Because I was brought up in a country where there wasn't a thing as low-fat milk, okay? We just had milk. We had milk and we had long-life milk that was in a carton. That was it, okay? So my perception of low-fat milk is like, really? Low-fat milk, you know, whatever else. But if you were brought up in the UK or Scotland or wherever else, you know, the UK, and you've seen the green and the blue milk through all your years, when you were a kid going out shopping with your mum and your dad, you've seen this kind of green milk. So you think the green milk is fairly, you know, fairly normal, and I have it, my friends have it, and all that stuff. So if we come from the point of view, and I'm like, oh man, green milk, what the fuck, you know? You're like, yeah, green milk, that's normal. We're going to have very different points of view on the very irrelevant subject almost, okay? But it's built up because of our exposure and our environment and our perception. So every little interaction and conversation with person, or what you see in the news, or what you see on social media, or whatever else, is going to keep building up that your reality of perception. Yeah, so that's why it's really important with likes of news, not to just go down the one news channel. Yeah, so don't just follow BBC, follow maybe Sky, follow Al Jazeera, follow whatever else. Don't just believe in one. That's why they also say about, you know, you are the accumulation of the most popular people you kind of stay with. I know that's a bit of a cheesy kind of, you know, millionaire entrepreneurial thing to kind of say and stuff like that, but it really is true, because the people that you spend a lot of time with are going to have an impact on how you view things and how you kind of perceive things. So it's always really important to kind of keep that in check. You know, are you having good conversations? Are you taking different points of view? Are you know, whatever else, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so slight kind of tangent there, but it's all really important about because it helps create the perception of what healthy eating is, what a good meal is. Yeah, how should you value yourself? Because if you're in a circle that people just like have a lot of fast food, you know, don't have a high regard for self-confidence, don't have a high regard for their self-worth and their body shape and their energy they're teaching classes, you know, if you're sort of around that environment, you're going to have a very different perception to somebody who is, you know, in the opposite environment. You know, we're talking about, you know, investment, development, self-growth, you know, a growth mindset, challenging conversations, you know, and all that kind of stuff. If you're talking about, you know, empowerment and all the stuff, and, you know, all these different things, that's going to have a very different perception on how you view yourself. And how, if you view yourself differently, you're going to take a lot more care of yourself, because how you view yourself will determine your choices, your actions, your behaviors. Yeah, so that's probably the key takeaway. How you view yourself will determine your actions and behaviors. All right, that's pretty much the summary for the last 5 minutes. Is that last sentence? Okay, so that's why it's important. Live discipline, level of resilience. Okay, so not put down motivation down there. And it's not because I don't like motivation by any means, but Discipline, it's when you're having that thought, you're trying to justify why you should have that second or third donut, justifying why you should have a third or fourth takeaway during the week, or whatever it may be. Is a discipline that's going to keep you on the straight and narrow, and just realign that arrow as to where you are headed. Okay, so motivation is important, absolutely, but motivation is quite temporary. Okay, it just depends on your mood, really. Discipline is that internal drive as to what the goal is, why you're doing this. Yep. So you know, you might have to make that decision that, you know, don't really want to go to the gym, don't really want to go out for a quick half-hour walk to get up my steps, but I know that if I do, I'm going to feel better for it, and it's going to help me get to where I want to be. Do I really want to be where I want to be, or am I just saying that because, you know, I feel like I should be saying that, or something like that? Okay, so that's why, again, back in our starting point, underlying the reasons why you're doing stuff is really important as well. All right, your level of resilience as well, because as that stuff that's going to kind of knock you from left to right, you're going to accept it, ride the wave, and carry on. Okay, we're not going to just fall down and go back to zero. All right, mine's going too fast for my mouth and my tongue this morning. All right, what a big deal. So this is the upshot. If you control your reactions and your motive triggers, you will undoubtedly avoid comfort eating, binge eating, and self-sabotage. Okay, now that is the empowerment, the armored bit that I was mentioning earlier on about that last bit of kind of testimony, bit of feedback. Okay, it's about being bulletproof. It's about understanding what you can control and what you can't control. Okay, so a couple of times with that particular kind of client, if something happened, I'd be like, oh, really stressed, you know, about to go and bury my head in a bottle of wine or whatever else like this, right? It'll be a quick phone call, or I can message back and go, right, listen, take a breath. What can you control? What can't you control, right? We can't control X, Y, Z. Can't control the weather. Can't control COVID. Can't control what your exes do. Can't control whatever else, all that kind of stuff, okay? But you can control your response, and you can take away that power to show that you've been, you know, affected by it, because that's what a lot of things are kind of looking for, you know, particularly people are looking for that triggered reaction. They're looking to make you upset. They're looking at all this kind of stuff. So if you take a calm breath, step back, and focus on yourself, being really empowered, being really armored, riding that wave, okay, being aware of it, then one, if you're snacking less, comfort eating less, and self-sabotaging less, these are all three things that are going to make your chance of getting to where you want to be a lot higher and a lot better. Okay, so it doesn't mean that we don't, you know, that we now are a robot or we don't have any emotion, nothing like that. But we identify it, we take it in, we sort of accept it, take a deep breath, going, right, can I control that thing? No. Okay, well, what can I do? I can control my reaction. Now, my chimp in my brain, my emotive side wants to be like that. Go on to Facebook, have a rant, or go text back, or phone a friend and have a big rant about what happened at work, or what happened in class, or what happened, you know, with boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, ex, whatever. Okay, you know, that's right. Okay, is that really going to help? You know, right? You might feel better, but you know, you've kind of not really lost that battle. But then if you're going to binge eat and comfort eat, then it's not really where you want to be. Okay, so just understanding that, being aware of it, and handling it makes a world of difference. So, you know, in a 4-week time scale, if you find yourself comfort eating or binge eating, say instead of 4 times, only once or twice, the net result is you're having less calories in across the week. You're feeling more successful. You're feeling in more control. You're feeling in more control. That helps your confidence. It helps confidence means that you're going to look after yourself better. You're going to make better choices. You start making better choices, then you're going to start looking better, start feeling better, right? Now you get out of that diet cycle of blame yourself, comfort eat, look unhappy, feel unhappy, look for a shortcut. That fails after a week, and that cycle. Then you get onto the much more fun, better cycle of, you know, looking better, making better choices. Better choices help you feel more confident. Feel confidence help you make better decisions. Better decisions help you control your calories in and make better food choices. And that's the cycle that we want to get upon. And everybody else who's worked through private coaching has been into that cycle and reaped the benefits. Okay, so that's the main point, where coaching is not just about the technical side. It's a lot to do with about the perception, the mindset, the riding the waves, all right, and putting that power into your hands, as Paddy McGinnis says. All right, so controlling your emotive side. Emotional logic, okay, and again, this slide is touching on the points, about being emotive and kind of logic, where we are emotive creatures. That's something we have to understand, and we need to make it work for us as opposed to against us. All right. So this is just being very aware of why do we buy the clothes, the cars, the makeup, the furniture that we do, essentially to help us help us feel, better about ourselves, but also align with a certain, feeling. Okay. So people that buy Harley Davidson, for example, it's not because they want, the best handling motorbike. No, they want that feeling of rebellion and freedom and being a bit of a badass, and he drives a Harley and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Nobody buys a Harley because it handles well. All right. Or because of its 0 to 60 time. Nobody gives a shit about that when you ride a Harley, right? It's about that feeling. It's about that connection to what it represents. So we have a natural identity to seek and live up to that self-perceived identity. That's why it's so self-important, so important to create that self-image of where you want to be in 3 months' time, of how you want to be living in 3 years' time, or in 3 weeks' time. Okay, that perception. So what does Joe look like? What does Tim look like? What does anybody and everybody? What do you look like? What do you aspire to? Because once you've got that perception of what you want to aspire to, you can start making those decisions that are going to kind of get you there. Yeah. So hopefully that makes fairly kind of logical kind of sense. We seek to feel good, feel at home, and brands help us create that kind of feeling. Okay. I had a conversation at work about it, the whole Samsung versus Apple thing just the other day with a friend a work colleague I've known for a long time, and he's not materialistic whatsoever. I have a couple of Apple products. I have a MacBook and a phone that's currently recording the session. So, and I know that's not the best stuff. I know that you can have a more gigapixel camera in a Pixel phone or Samsung phone, or I had a Huawei one. I had a P20 Pro one before. It took great photos, but the user sort of interface wasn't great. And I know going back to Apple, be able to kind of take photos, send stuff, do this, whatever else, just so much easier to kind of use. And that's what I kind of went kind of back for, because Apple also have this, a feeling perhaps of being a bit slick, and yep, you pay more, but you get this perceived quality. Now, whether you do or don't, again, it's up for kind of debate. But back to kind of perhaps things like makeup or shoes, or where you want to go to eat. Anything that you do, the car that you drive, perhaps if that's something important to you, will create a sense of perception that you have a brand connection to. That you will want to buy that brand because of how it makes you feel and the associated perception of that. Okay. When I changed my kind of car, I went back to a Golf, and it was really kind of crazy, because it wasn't crazy, maybe it was crazy, but I went for a Golf because in South Africa, a lot of the advertising of Golf was the adventurous, sensible, kind of considerate, free, adult, and it was mostly aimed at kind of men. Okay, right or wrong, it was mostly aimed at kind of men. And that was it. So when I went to buy a car, I didn't want to go, buy a Beamer or an Opel or a Vauxhall or a Toyota or anything like that. I just thought Golf, because with me and the wee one, we're going on paddleboarding, we're going on camping events and stuff like that. That aligned to how I want to feel. So when I bought a Golf, I feel like I'm a lot more of an adventure dude. Whether I am or not is irrelevant, because I could be doing the same camping trips, the same amount of paddleboarding and shit and camping stuff ever before with any car. But buying that Golf kind of like, oh yeah, it's that sensible car. It's got good mileage, but it handles well, and it's German made, so it's better quality, blah blah blah. All these things that they kind of hear. So I was aware that I was buying into that perceived kind of brand, and that's what happens a lot with our emotive kind of buying as well. Okay. So, and the reason why I kind of say this generally to kind of try one it back into mindset and emotion is be very aware of the emotion shortcuts and the false promises. I.e., look for that kind of social proof. So when people, that you may see on social media, that you may see around, claiming this and saying this and all that kind of stuff, you're going to really ask yourself the question: where's the kind of proof? Can it help me? Is that the thing that I want to aspire to? So you don't kind of fall for those sort of false advertising, saying it's too good to be true kind of stuff. You actually see what's behind the hood, as it were, excuse the pun. Building resilient mindset will help ride life's shitballs, okay, and using the pause and the 10-minute technique. So both those little techniques, both those kind of points is removing that reactive trigger, okay? It's something happening, It's taking that breath, taking the 10 minutes, particularly if you feel like you want to snack, like if there's a motor trigger, even it might be subconscious that you might be aware of, suddenly you want to reach for the cupboard for something sugary or some bit of chocolate or whatever it may be, a packet of crisps or something like that. All right. Understand that that's an immediate hunger. That is a reactive hunger. So take 10 minutes, go be distracted, go walk downstairs, take a banana, come walk back upstairs, go mop the floors or something like that, or go pack a bag for gym the next day, whatever it may be, put away some washing, do some dishes, whatever it be, feed the dog, feed the cat, whatever, okay? Take 10 minutes and then decide whether you're still hungry after that. And if you are, then it's real hunger. If it's not, then you've kind of ridden one of those motor kind of trigger waves. So just building into that resilient mindset where we're not going up and down. We're just slowly riding that wave just a little bit better, okay? Being less reactively, less emotive. Reducing the impact of emotional eating will manage your weight 100%. Spend time investing and working on your mindset as it is your outlook on life. Okay, it's kind of the glasses that you're wearing. Yeah, so you want to be putting on a new set of glasses, perception about you, about lifestyle, about your role as a fitness instructor, fitness coach, and everything that's kind of happening to you. Just take a breath, take a look, be a bit reflective. Ask yourself, how are you feeling? Can I control this? Is there anything I can do about this? Right, if I have a big moan or go and binge eat, is it going to help anything? Is it going to help change that thing that's happened to me about work, about my class, or about anything else? Just kind of ride it out a little bit more. Building confidence and a strong mindset go hand in hand. Okay, 100%. Yeah, so here's what to do. A couple of takeaway points, 6 key takeaway kind of points for you to sort of apply and think about. This screenshot, this kind of page, feel free to screenshot it, save it, print it off, okay? Just keep reminding yourself about this. Working in self-language every day. So with any kind of private client that has a lot of negative down talk, we start looking at a language diary. We start looking at changing some of the kind of damning words, some of the closed-ended phrases that are being used, and we start to kind of open them up, start to apply a bit of growth mindset, be a bit kinder on ourselves, etc., etc. So self-language every day is really important because although you might have, say, 20 conversations with different people throughout the day, you're having thousands of conversations with yourself every day, okay? There's many jokes about all the voices in your head kind of thing, okay? But I'm sure you kind of get what I'm saying. Adopt the growth mindset vocabulary, drop the all or nothing comments. Now, all or nothing comments, again, working with clients that have mentioned this, oh, I'm an all or nothing kind of gal, I'm all in or it's nothing, that is a very protective approach. It's a protective mechanism to particularly people afraid of failing. All right, so that's a great sort of retort to use if you scared of failing, scared of kind of trying. Okay, and the focus there is to try to understand that between winning and losing, there's getting better. Okay, between good and bad foods, there's like moderate foods. Okay, and all this kind of stuff. There's a scaled area here that we remove this all or nothing approach because it's very defensive and it's very deflective of taking a chance or making progress, etc., etc. Okay, so be very aware of that. If you've ever used that term, or you hear friends or members or colleagues use it, that's generally because they're a bit afraid to kind of take a chance. They're afraid of kind of failing because if they're not met their 100%, win thing, then it's failed, and then they'll say, "Oh, but it's nothing." So I'm either all in or I'm all out. Maybe it doesn't need to be like that, perhaps. Okay, so reflect on the emotions that you're feeling before every decision. Very important. Be patient. It's a skill and it will take time. Okay, so patience in itself is a skill, but we can't expect to completely change our outlook or our perception or mindset or a language within one day, within 1 week. It's going to slowly kind of embed, just like the habits. So we're slowly kind of take shape over time. All right, so that is session 5 pretty much wrapped up. Okay, so a lot of stuff about mindset, a lot of stuff about perception, outlook, language, etc., confidence, self-worth, self-value. How you perceive yourself is how you are going to act and behave. If you perceive yourself lowly, you're not going to give yourself a lot of investment, a lot of credit, a lot of patience. Okay, so yeah, and controlling the emotions is absolutely kind of key as well to help build in that bit of resilience to ride life's journeys as they are, because I don't think they're going to be stopping anytime soon. Okay, so yeah, have a tracker score. Week 2 has just been done, so score yourself up. How'd you get on to week 1? what is your goal and your target for week 3? Okay, your journey, your investment, your body and classes, everything else, right? Totally up to you. Everything you need literally is right there for you to grab. It's the last week, so go and grab some success. Yeah, go and empower yourself. Go feel better in classes. Go drop a few pounds off. Go have to go buy a new pair of jeans and get your partner or your friends at work and classes to go, damn, you're looking good, you know, how's things going? And the big smile on your face is going to show it all up. Okay, so, you know, go and get it, as it were. If you need anything, if there's any struggles, any issues, the last week, so please feel free to reach out. Okay, you have my phone number there as well. Obviously, those offers are there and for the first person to come forward and take one of them up, the platinum or the golds. So that is that. All right, how to become lifestyle, nearly forgot. Habit number 9 and number 10. You'll spend less time and energy on things you cannot control. Okay, so anything that starts to kind of rile you up or things, whatever else, think about it. Can you control it? Yes or no? Is it going to match in 5 minutes or 5 years? Yes or no? Then put your energy, your focus, your time on the shit that's relevant and the shit that's important to you that you can control. Okay, there is no point me shouting at this wall, asking it to, I don't know, change color or something like that, because it's irrelevant. Okay, I can't control that right now. I can just bang my head against the wall, use up a ton of energy, a ton of stress, get really angry, but I'm not shifting that wall. I'm not changing the color of the wall like right now, kind of stuff. So why? Yeah, why waste your time and energy on something that you cannot control? All right. So habit number 10 is for you to decide. It would be great if you use something from the mindset kind of session to think about how you value yourself, you talk about yourself, where it might be, or, you know, your emotive side of things, that bit of chimp in the brain, perhaps, you know, just how to sort of take a breather when you get something reactive through an email or through a text or social media that, you know what, you don't immediately reply, you put it down, you walk away, you come back an hour, and then you can think about, you know, replying, responding, etc., etc. Okay, so wherever it be, your habits that need to kind of last a long time. So think about habit number 10, put it in with the rest of them, and just slowly climbing up that mountain of change. Yep, slowly kind of adding every day, every week. And that is it. So thank you very much for dialing in, and thank you very much for listening. Of course, feel free to drop a like on the YouTube video, as well as a comment if you find it useful. If you have any thoughts, any questions, feel free to reach out on YouTube, because I'll pick up the comments on there, and or get me on my mobile phone that has been on the presentation, and or on Instagram, Facebook as well. Okay, so that is it. The last week. Have a great week, and any issues, any thoughts, any questions, feel free to let me know. We shall dial back in again on Thursday night at 9 o'clock. And yeah, we'll have a final check-in on Sunday to see how we kind of gone, what sort of the scores are, etc., and wrap things up then. So yeah, have a great week. Thanks for joining, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.